The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It'll defend itself. Now, I'd like to ask my audience an honest question, and I want you to think about it and answer it honestly. If you had a choice between someone disagreeing with you and being honest about that, or someone agreeing with you but doing it disingenuously just to get on your good side, what would you choose? Would you choose the person that disagreed with you and told you why and believed in that? Or would you rather have the person that glad-handed you and told you what you wanted to hear because they had some interest in being your friend? Which would you rather have? Most people, I believe, would rather have an honest enemy than a dishonest friend. This statement, when you look at it dispassionately, gives up the game. In reality, they're not after me. This is, of course, Donald Trump speaking. They're after you. I'm just in the way. Now, when thought about critically, that takes you down a whole different path. You see, CNN, this entire time, has been telling the truth about who they are, about what they believe in, and what they stand for. Not many people agree with what they believe in or stand for, but they're being honest about it. They haven't lied about it. They haven't tried to make you believe something about themselves that wasn't true. However, it has become very apparent recently that Fox News has been lying this entire time about what its motivations are and the belief systems of its people. Manhattan has no conservatives. There might be a few hidden here and there, but it's, at least from voting records, 90% liberal, and women outnumber men 3-1. Where would they have been able to find this giant bastion of conservative thought? In Manhattan. You see, someone had an idea long ago that has worked itself out marvelously for a few people that wanted to enrich themselves. This was the idea. What if we can get mainstream conservative male America to watch our channel simply based on the fact that we have a bunch of pretty girls in tight dresses telling them what they want to hear? Telling them what they want to hear. See, it doesn't matter whether these people actually believe what they're saying or not. They just have to deliver the content and deliver it in this way. Worked out like gangbusters to enrich a few people, absolutely. But now we are seeing the mask come off. See, the most dangerous liars are those who think they are telling the truth or believe they are telling the truth. And I'd like to show you an article from Allison Camerata. Well, it's actually not from her. It's from HollywoodReporter.com with her. See, she was one of those Fox News babes on the couch way back in the early days. And she gives up the game here. You see, all of them were liberals. From the beginning, CNN was just being honest about who they were. Fox was lying. The New Day co-anchor spent 16 years working for the ratings leader, which has informed her commentary during the Trump presidency. Allison Camerata doesn't work at Fox News anymore, but she can't seem to avoid talking about it, which is very true. Her quotes: "I am conflicted because I do not want to insult my friends." Those of you already out there saying, she's a liberal for sure, we know that, she works at CNN. Right, but she has friends who work at Fox. Quote, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't like being in this mortal combat position. Do you enjoy talking about Fox News? This is a question to her, and the network's connection to the presidency on a regular basis. No, I don't enjoy talking about it. I'm very conflicted about talking about it. I wish I didn't have to talk about it. I still have lots of friends at Fox. I am very close to some people at Fox. I still socialize with people from Fox. So I don't like talking about how they run their operation. But the times that I talk about it, it's when the hypocrisy is so astonishing that I can't help but to talk about it. You see, it's hard for her because she doesn't know who the real people are. Yeah, of course, when she's asked, do you like any of the opinion hosts personally? Do you have friendships? She said, yeah, of course, of course. I mean, that's the problem. That's why I always feel so conflicted, is because personally, they were warm and still are, but I don't think that excuses what you say with your megaphone. Some former Fox News employees will point out on air that hosts like Tucker Carlson have been personally friendly to them. Tucker Carlson. Totally, of course. Therein lies the struggle for all of us. Which one is the real person? The people who are railing against and saying all sorts of toxic stuff on the air, or the people in the green room who are really nice and ask about your kids? Speaking of Tucker Carlson, she's conflicted because off air, they're one person, and on air, they're another person. Imagine that. Now, does that jive with Sandra Smith when she didn't realize she was being recorded or she was on a hot mic? See, this woman here had the audacity, being interviewed here, to say that we don't choose presidents in the press. The press has no constitutional authority to choose presidents. The President of the United States in America is not chosen officially and constitutionally until 20 December at the Electoral College. This woman was dumbfounded. She's like, what world are we living in now? Like we were living in some kind of bizarro world. Doesn't she realize we've called it? This is what happens when you shift out of your thinking brain and into your feeling brain, pardon me. See, a lot of male American, I know 80% of my audience listening right now is male America, didn't realize what was going on until it was too late. They didn't realize the damage. And I can prove it with another example that I think will really resonate with a lot of people. Tulsi Gabbard. You see, when I say that name, people think, oh, you mean the girl that was on the Council of Foreign Relations? It's the first place your mind goes. It's the first place your mind goes. Forget everything else she said. Forget the way she absolutely eviscerated Kamala Harris. Forget her original statement, which is her original belief, on the marriage issue in Hawaii. I'll just leave it at that. See, the first thing in your minds is all the negative about Tulsi Gabbard. But the last thing in your minds is the hundreds of thousands of dollars that Donald Trump gave to Democrats when he was a registered Democrat. His daughter was a registered Democrat, living in Manhattan for a decade or more. You see, you have the ability to believe that, oh, he's changed. Haven't you heard him speak? This is what he says. This is what he believes. You won't listen to what she says. You'll only dig up some minor detail from her past. Why? Well, it's very simple. It's very simple. You were in your emotional brain when you were being convinced that Donald Trump was the answer for all problems in America. And you see, now that they've shifted out of that, people are hurt and people are angry and people are upset. And they're going to places like OAN and Newsmax, which is fine. And funny story, Actually, the girl right here in the green, first row, Heather Childers, actually works for Newsmax now. And there was a girl over at Fox Business that got lost her job because she said something unpopular about the current pandemic. I'm trying to remember her name right now, I can't. But she has a deal over at OAN. So there were probably a few dotted here and there, true believers, quote unquote, at Fox. But the vast majority were there for one reason and one reason only. And the president called this out, if you don't believe me. He called this out a long time ago. You see, they gave up on their money-making game when Trump won. See, I don't think all of these liberals realized just how powerful they were. They didn't realize that rolling out Fox News, a bunch of people lying about who they were and what they believed, they didn't believe it was going to have any real world effect other than making people rich. A lot of the reasons those liberals went over to Fox News and took jobs there is because they were incredibly high-paying jobs. Shepard Smith, perfect example. He was liberal the entire time. Super liberal. Makes $10 million, made $10 million a year there. He made $10 million a year there. See, those people did have a God. It was money. There was something more important to them than their liberal ideology, and it was money. But the people over at CNN, who got clobbered in the ratings for years and years and years and years and years because they were liberals, see, they were the ones telling you the truth of who they were. You didn't have to agree with that. But they were the ones telling the truth. I'd much rather have an honest enemy. Because somebody who tells me what I don't want to hear, to the risk of possibly offending me, see, I know I can trust that person. Because they're not attempting to manipulate me. They're not attempting to get something from me. Because who would do that? Who would take that tack? The people in your life that are honest with you to their own detriment, those are the people you need to be listening to. The people that are honest with you to their own detriment are the people that you need to be listening to. The people that tell you what you want to hear are always glad-handing you and always saying the stuff that they know you want to hear. You got to run away from those folks. You got to run away from those folks. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself. Like, share, subscribe.